it was about time that I get back to this project, and I've had a couple setbacks in my personal life, and everything's somewhat back to normal now. So, if you recall, the flange that came with the boiler flange was impossible to remove. I did everything I could to remove it, and finally had to cut it, and you can see where I cut it here. I like this flange a lot. It's, this is where the heating element attaches. Obviously, it's got, these are rough threads on here, are larger threads than the finer threads that came with the earlier machines. And I also like this one a lot because it has the two holes and a screw and screws. So I did some research. I did some research after I received the new flange. So here's the new flange that I got from Stefano. I ordered it there because it was going to come quickly, and with the price of shipping and everything from Romania, it was actually cheaper to buy it from the U.S. So this is the new flange. It's beautiful. I think it's a La Pavoni flange. It's got the nice three holes here, threaded holes. Unfortunately, it has no threaded holes for screws. This is where the grounding screws or the grounding wires attach. This one comes in from the cord, and then also this one goes to the base. Because once you put this flange on, and if you ground either with a base or the boiler, one of those two are not grounded because of the gasket that goes here that insulates the flange from the boiler from the base. So you have to ground both the boiler and the base. Okay, so I like this flange. It's beautiful. I preferred having one like this, but it didn't come that way. So guess what I'm going to do? I could attach the grounding wires to these screws, but I don't like to use double duty. These should be only used, I think, for holding the heating element, and that these should be for the screws. Because if this were to loosen up for any reason, then one part would not be grounded, which is frankly what happens on an electrical box. You cannot use a screw to mount a box, and also to use that same screw to attach a ground wire to the box. They have to be separate for that reason, because one can loosen and then you lose your grounding bond. So I'm going to make this one like the old one, and to do that, I did some research. So I have a whole set. You can probably see it over here. Let me move this up. I have a whole set of metric dies and thread cutters. Come on, what's the word? Can't remember right now. Come on. There's a 73-year-old mind working on you. So these are dies, obviously, to cut cut the threads on, and these are taps. Duh, it took me a minute, but I got it. So I have a whole set of those here, and that's nice. I bought them quite a while ago, and so I bought a set of metric drill bits. And the drill bits, I knew if I stayed around long enough, I'd figure out that these were taps. So that's what happens with the 73-year-old mind. Sometimes it happens with people who are younger, but I'll use that as my excuse. So let's get back down and take a peek here. So so what I did is I took out this is a M3 by 0.5, and I put it into one of the old holes, and it taps in there beautifully. So I could determine that I needed a M3 by 0.5 screw and tap. I won't need the die because there's really nothing to cut. I did order a whole little bag of M3 by 0.5 brass screws. The one that came with it is the stainless screw. It's fine. It won't ever rust, but the brass won't either. And brass actually has a better contact, especially since this is brass to brass. I'm going to use these brass screws. So that's what I have to do. So I have to drill out this little enlarged section here, and this side too. I have to do both. and then I have to tap them, and so I can put 2 screws in. So that's my task for today before I can put the boiler flange on and the boiler back onto the base. So I'll be back.